Everybody, good morning. 2 meteorologist Travis Klineski here. It's a Tuesday morning. Many of you may be heading back to work today after the extended holiday weekend. It's looking pretty quiet out there. The clouds off to the southeast are departing, and we're going to see plenty of sun today. Breezy winds expected today out of the south. Again, your highest winds will likely be in these locations here to the west and to the north. I think that's where the strongest winds will be. Maybe some gusts to 30 miles per hour. Gusts to 25 around the Tri-Cities, gusts to 20 in Lincoln, so a little lighter the farther east that you go. After a hot day in the Panhandle, a few clouds start to move in later in the day and into tonight, while the rest of us look to be very quiet overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Warmer air for most of us tomorrow, but a cold front right there enters the picture. That front's going to dive into northwest Nebraska during the day tomorrow by 5 o'clock. That cold front's going to be right about there. So most of us will be ahead of it. It's going to be a warm Wednesday with breezy south winds. Slightly cooler here to the northwest with a few clouds around, perhaps even some isolated showers and thunderstorms starting to pop up late in the afternoon and into the evening. Look for a little small chance of a little severe weather, but that threat should go down later in the night and into Thursday morning. That frontal boundary by Thursday morning, roughly about right there. So it's moved through most of the area, moving through southeast Nebraska Thursday morning. But behind it, a few showers and isolated thunderstorms. The rain chance is not overly promising. I don't think we're going to see a lot of rain with this here. So if you're looking for a good soaker, unless you get under one of those heavy thunderstorms, which would mainly be to the west and northwest, you probably won't get a lot of rain out of the system, unfortunately. Severe weather-wise, there is a low-end chance of a little severe weather late Wednesday into Wednesday evening over the northwestern half of our area. Isolated large hail up to quarter size, isolated wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. Not looking for anything terribly widespread or threatening. I think there's some very isolated severe weather is a possibility. Temperatures today, for most of us, still pretty nice, but look at hot over northwest Nebraska. From mid to upper 90s, lower 100s in Chadron. Even close to 90 for northern and western parts of the Local 4 viewing area from Ainsworth to Imperial. The rest of us will top out mostly in the low to mid 80s, maybe even upper 70s around New York. Lows tonight, mid to upper 50s and lower 60s. Tomorrow, most of us will warm up, but the western part of the state will cool down. Low and mid 80s in the Panhandle. But the rest of us topping out mid to upper 80s and lower 90s. This will be one of the warmest days this week for the majority of us. Tomorrow night, as that front comes through, we're still in the low mid 60s. But some 50s here to the west well behind that frontal boundary. And then as we look ahead to your Thursday, a big cool down on the way. Still some low and mid 90s here to the southeast, but most of us topping up mid to upper 70s, maybe near 80 in a few spots out there. So a very pleasant Thursday with some extra clouds around and that slight chance of rain during the day. Friday, now it starts to warm up a little bit out west, low to mid 80s there, but the rest of us in the 70s for highs. Look at that right there. There is still a low end chance of a little bit of rain. Most of us will probably not see that though. More of the same Saturday, although again, western areas start to warm up here, and that's going to be a continued trend as that warm air out west is going to slowly start to budge eastward heading into next week, and we'll show you that in just a bit. So looking at that extended forecast here for the Tri-Cities, you see it warming up today and into tomorrow, and then the big cool down on Thursday with that slight chance of rain. I would put it at maybe possibly as high as a 40%, but I'm going 30% chance. I'm not very optimistic when it comes to late Wednesday night into Thursday. Should be out of here by probably Thursday evening at the latest. And then just a small chance of rain on Friday. But again, temperatures looking very pleasant Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday is not too bad. Similar highs on Saturday in Lincoln if you're planning on going to the Nebraska and Colorado game, a high price ticket there. As Coach Prime comes in to take on the Huskers. By the time the game starts, temperatures will probably be down in the low and mid 70s and later in the game dropping back into the 60s. So really nice weather, no weather issues expected on Saturday evening in Lincoln. Temperatures do start to come up Sunday and into Monday with our warming trend beginning there, and it looks like it's going to be a warm week next week for Husker Harvest Days just west of Grand Island. Highs will be mostly in the 80s, and it's likely to be pretty dry during that time. I'll show you that here in just a bit as well. Let's take a look at the North Platte forecast. As we've been saying a lot over the last several months here, warmer than the Tri-Cities almost every single day. Today and tomorrow close to 90 degrees. There's that chance of rain and thunderstorms with the cold front Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Cooler Thursday, but notice not as cool. And then temperatures already back up into the mid 80s Friday and Saturday, and near 90 on Sunday and Monday as the temperatures do heat back up heading into next week. So we're going to be upper 80s and lower 90s most of next week if you live in the North Platte area. And in fact, looking at next week here, this is starting next Tuesday and going all the way through the following Monday. Look at how that warm air budges eastward here. So we're going to be under the regime of a pretty warm air mass most of next week and into the following weekend as all the cool air shifts off to our east. Maybe starts to cool down on the Pacific coast by the end of that forecast. And I'm watching that close because I'm going to be in Seattle on Sunday and Monday, the 15th and 16th of September. It's supposed to be cool and wet there. And in fact, as you look at the rainfall forecast, we are going to be very dry here in the middle part of the country. Not a lot of moisture expected. Quite a bit of moisture with stalled out frontal boundary to our southeast here. And then again, there's that wet weather I was talking about that I'm going to be possibly seeing by the time I get to the Seattle area, Vancouver, Seattle. Looking to be cool and dry, actually. Like I was looking at the long range forecast models, 50s, maybe 40s for highs, so not really pleasant weather. I'll show you not much rain in our forecast, so we get the one shot that comes through Wednesday night into Thursday right there, and then the fronts off to our southeast. I kept a small chance in for Friday. It's not much though. Saturday, I debated throwing a small chance in there. It's not much. Otherwise, just these very, very minor chances down the road. GFS model, again, we've got the cold front Wednesday night and the Thursday rain, the chance of rain. Even then, again, notice how it's not real promising. Better chances will be over northwestern areas, and then it kind of falls apart farther southeast, which is why I'm only going a 30% chance for the Tri-Cities. Then it kind of develops again Thursday night off to our southeast. Friday, the small chance. Saturday, the small chance. They're not even in the forecast from the GFS, which is why I was debating even throwing those chances in. And there's just not much down the road as we look long range until maybe late next week. Looking at the forecast models, both of the long range models now a little more in line. Yesterday, if you were watching, the European model was actually trying to keep things cooler next week. Well, now it's in line with the GFS, and it looks like it should be a warmer week next week. So again, we're warming up the next couple of days as that warmer air out west kind of budges eastward. But then here comes the shot of cooler air Wednesday night into Thursday. So Thursday, with a reinforcing shot of cooler air Thursday night into Friday over the eastern half of the area. Notice out west, though, it is kind of warming back up again. So look at the difference in temperatures across the state on Saturday. And look at that big shot of cool air over the Great Lakes region. But the heat starts to build in next week from the west here. So we're going to see plenty of warm air ahead through next week here. And I mentioned that cool and wet weather in the Pacific coast that I'll be dealing with as we get towards that following weekend. But not here in Nebraska, northern Kansas. It looks to be pretty warm next week here. Very much summer-like. GFS is pretty comparable now. It looks pretty similar. We're warm the next couple of days. There's the Thursday cool down. And then Friday and Saturday, again, it's eastern Nebraska with the biggest cool down. But out west, very warm again. And then that warmth will spread eastward Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It looks like all of next week's going to be pretty warm. We'll be waiting until maybe somewhere down the road late, or maybe that weekend or the following week where we maybe start to get in on some of this cooler air that may start to budge eastward. We'll see. That's a long ways out. We're talking 2 weeks out at this point. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, if you have plans for Husker harvest days next week, plan on warm weather. And if you're looking for much moisture, not looking too promising over the next couple of weeks. All right, with that, I will let you all go. I want to thank you all for watching on this Tuesday morning, and I will see you all again on Wednesday with all of the latest. Take care, and God bless. Bye.